Once upon a time, you probably watched a documentary where some guy who hadn't brushed his hair since the 70s claimed he was the second coming of whatever, and a bunch of people followed him into the desert to ascend. And you thought, come on, who falls for that? Simple answer, all types of people. Rich, poor, educated, uneducated, extroverts, introverts, even your Aunt Karen who sells crystals on Etsy. But even smart people, yep, really, really smart people. We're talking Ivy League grads, seasoned professionals, tech entrepreneurs, and psychology majors who should have seen it coming but still ended up drinking metaphorical Kool-Aid. The kind of folks who solve complex equations for fun and somehow still get hoodwinked into groupthink, disguised as spiritual awakening. You see, there's a myth floating around, possibly crafted by those same cult recruiters, that only the naive and uneducated join cults. That these people are somehow beneath us on the IQ ladder, easily duped, socially desperate, or born yesterday. But let's stretch that bubble a bit, shall we? Because cults don't care if you're a Rhodes Scholar or a high school dropout. They don't discriminate by paycheck, number of followers, or emotional baggage. The struggling artist and the A-list celeb, the small-town loner and the beloved socialite, they're all fair game. You can be poor and desperate for stability or rich and bored out of your mind, looking for something deeper. You can be insecure and seeking validation, or famous and just tired of people wanting selfies instead of real connection. Cults know how to shapeshift to match whatever mask you want them to wear. And sure, cults do exploit vulnerability, but if you think Harvard grads or Hollywood elites are immune, think again. Let's get into it. Did you know that Heaven's Gate, the one with the matching outfits and spaceship aspirations, had members who were engineers, software developers, and even held advanced degrees? One of their key members, Marshall Applewhite, was a music professor. That's right, a professor, not a village fool. And if you think that was just a one-off in the 90s, fast forward to Nexium. Yes, the one with the fancy-sounding acronym, the branding scars, and the weird vow of silence. Nexium didn't market itself as a cult. It pitched itself as a self-improvement organization. Who joined? Ivy League alumni, CEOs, Hollywood actresses like Allison Mack, and even royalty. The curriculum sounded like a TED Talk married a Tony Robbins seminar and had a baby in Silicon Valley. And it worked. Because it appealed to high-functioning individuals who were searching for meaning, growth, and purpose. And here's the kicker. Nexium's influence reached all the way into politics. Some of its members included individuals connected to high-ranking officials in Mexico, including relatives of former Mexican presidents. Emiliano Salinas, son of ex-president Carlos Salinas de Gortari, operated a licensed NXIVM-affiliated center in Mexico, leveraging his elite social access, including connections with politicians, actors, and business leaders. Ana Cristina Fox, daughter of former President Vicente Fox, also took part in Nexium's ESP program, though she later distanced herself from its darker practices. Federico de la Madrid, son of ex-President Miguel de la Madrid, and Alejandra González Anaya, sister of a former finance secretary, were also associated with the group. And perhaps most disturbingly, Rosa Laura Junco, daughter of the owner of the major Mexican newspaper Reforma, was allegedly part of the secretive DOS subgroup that engaged in extreme forms of manipulation. We're not just talking about some small-town gullibility here. This was international, elite-level participation. They didn't show up in robes, they showed up in suits, and they still got played. Take the Rajneesh movement, for example, better known to Netflix bingers as the orange-wearing folks from Wild Wild Country. Rajneeshpuram wasn't just a utopian commune. It had doctors, lawyers, and academics among its ranks. One of their top strategists was a trained nurse who coordinated complex logistical operations to essentially attempt a hostile takeover of an Oregon town. These weren't lost souls. They were professionals with spreadsheets. And let's not forget Jim Jones and the People's Temple. Before the infamous mass tragedy, the group was praised for its integration and progressive values. It attracted idealists, social workers, civil rights activists, and even city officials. People who genuinely wanted to make the world better. They just happened to hitch their wagon to a megalomaniac with a god complex. Cults don't look like cults until you're too deep to walk out. They start off looking like book clubs, yoga retreats, or networking masterminds with bonus trust falls. They play the long con. First, they shower you with attention, what experts call love bombing. Suddenly, you're the most interesting, brilliant, spiritually awakened person alive. You've found your people, your tribe, your cosmic soulmate family. Then the identity erosion starts. Little things. Maybe your family doesn't understand you. Maybe the media is lying to you. Maybe only we can help you reach your true potential. And just like that, your critical thinking is replaced by Kool-Aid flavored ideology. Figuratively speaking, usually. Let's be clear. Intelligence doesn't make you immune. In fact, the smarter you are, the more creative your rationalizations can become. Instead of saying, "This is weird," you say, "This is just beyond my current level of understanding." Sound familiar? That's not enlightenment, that's gaslighting with extra syllables. Even psychiatrists have studied this. Dr. Margaret Singer and Dr. Robert Lifton laid out how cults use thought reform and psychological manipulation, not witchcraft or hypnosis, but carefully orchestrated social techniques to reel in even the most skeptical minds. It's not about IQ, it's about emotional needs. Everyone craves belonging. Everyone wants clarity in a chaotic world. Cults offer both, at first. Let's not forget Scientology. Oh boy, a whole Netflix special's worth of material. Founded by a science fiction writer, it attracted celebrities, scientists, and high-level executives. Why? Because it promises personal empowerment. Until you realize your credit card's maxed out and your auditor has your secrets on tape. Even Charles Manson's group included educated people, not just drifters. His followers included an honors student and a homecoming queen. Manson didn't lead with madness. He led with music, charisma, and promises of revolution. So why does this myth persist that only weak people fall into cults? Because it makes us feel safe. It draws a line between them and us. But the truth is, if you've ever felt lonely, directionless, or desperate for meaning, you're a target. And the more self-aware you think you are, the more flattering their pitch will be. Now here's the helpful part. How do you avoid joining a cult, especially if it's disguised as a TEDx wellness boot camp? First, beware of love bombing. If a group instantly thinks you're chosen, run. Second, ask questions. Cults hate skepticism more than vampires hate sunlight. Third, keep your support network. Real friends don't demand you cut off mom because she vibrates at a lower frequency. And finally, remember, if someone claims to have all the answers, they're selling you something. Probably matching robes. So next time someone says, "Only weak-minded people join cults," feel free to raise an eyebrow and say, "Tell that to the MIT grad chanting mantras in Oregon." Thanks for watching the Debunkers. If you like this brain scrub, smash that like button like it's a cult recruiter's pamphlet. Subscribe for more myth-busting mayhem, and comment below with your weirdest encounter with suspicious healing communities. Or just tell us what color your aura is today.